Excited today to sit down with Marna, also known as Musical Marna or Miss Mar. Marna lives at the intersection of music, movement, and well being. She's a DJ, yoga teacher, vocal guide, and event facilitator whose work is rooted in one core idea that movement and music are inseparable and deeply human. As a DJ, she curates immersive body led dance experiences. Her sets aren't about performance or spectacle, they're about dropping people into flow. She's described her mixes as being curated for moving to step away from overstimulation and let the body's own intelligence take over. You'll find her behind the decks at ecstatic dances, yoga events, and community gatherings, often outdoors, where rhythm becomes a shared language. So same philosophy carries into her yoga and wellness work. Marna is a 500-hour certified yoga teacher with training across yin, hatha, and vinyasa, kundalini, prenatal, pain care, and trauma-informed practices. Her classes are fluid, musical, and expressive, sometimes literally sung. She weaves chanting and live vocal elements into her sessions, describing it as adding music therapy, singing throughout Savasana, to deepen the nervous system.
Savasana.
Thank you. There's a lot of words there I don't normally see. Yeah, so to deepen the nervous system response and mind-body connection. Her path into this work started early as a competitive singer in high school. She first came to yoga at 17, searching for a better breath control. One class changed everything. She recalled walking out thinking, whoa, what was that? A moment that sparked a lifelong devotion to movement, sound, and healing. So today she's based in Comox Valley on Vancouver Island, and Marna continues to build community through classes, music events, and creative projects. At the heart of it all is a simple aim to help people slow down, feel more, and reconnect. So I'm looking forward to unpacking that with you, Marna. Hey.
Sweet. You know so much. Awesome. I have nothing else to add.
Yeah, well, I thought that maybe it'd be important for people to get a little bit more info, and I thought perhaps you wouldn't have revealed all of that awesome stuff about yourself so fluidly. So I thought I'd get a head start on that for you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ben. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so just want to also acknowledge for these things we're doing here, we have Sika in the background who helps show us clips and pictures and things and helps keep me on track leading up to these. So just wanted to thank you for being here helping us, Sika. Okay, so let's see. So in that opening there, you had your first yoga class at 17 and it was a turning point. Would you want to walk us through that moment? Not necessarily a story, but what shifted internally in you and how that sort of process felt in your younger years.
Yeah. I think at the time I was a little bit lost for direction, as I mean, many 17-year-olds are. Um, I've been drinking a lot and just not really in touch with like any sort of spirituality, or I just felt really lost. And then I walked out of that yoga class feeling for the first time like, wow, I'm alive. And it was because it wasn't only just like that community connection that we got to have with one another. It was like this massive classroom with all these people breathing and moving and singing and basically like having this dance together. um, I instantly wanted to nerd out as to why, because I knew that there was some kind of psychological synapse that was happening in my brain and what I felt from everyone else energetically in the room. Um, so I dove into it, and I instantly just wanted to know why. Why does the brain do that? And all of a sudden, like after years of feeling so lost, how come I had a sense of purpose right then and there?
Mm.
So I wanted to chase that, and of course, I did get into yoga to explore deeper breath or get better breath control because at that time I was competing. Um, and that was a suggestion from my singing teacher at the time. So I also wanted to know the psychology around breath control and what it means to be alive. And I remember the teacher kept on talking about this prana, which translates from Sanskrit to life force energy. And that's what I felt. I walked away feeling like I had a lot of life force energy. Um, so, yeah, and the same thing relates to both of those things, even from that time in my life to this day, relates back and forth um, to music, whether it's like on a dance floor or singing or yoga. I just feel like not only myself has life force energy, but I look around the room like a dance floor when people are actually engaged in it. You can tell that they're moving through some good stuff there, which really at the end of the day we're just monkeys. We're just monkeys that need to move and need to feel and need to be more in touch with that. So it's just been a platform to help me feel more alive.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And to have something that helps you feel more alive, that then also helps others feel more alive, and to do that actively as not only a practice, but also, something that earns you money, that helps you also navigate through the world, is also a amazing and feat that's worth celebrating and applauding you for. Okay, so about the DJing, I guess before DJing and teaching, I guess you sort of almost kind of communicated this already, but the question is that before DJing and teaching, what role did music help you in regulating in regulating yourself, and what did you learn on the dance floor in terms of how music helps you regulate or express yourself that then you're able to carry with you as a DJ?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I started music when I was 5, but then I think I mean, like we do, we evolve. I started singing when I was a kid, and then I went to music school, and I didn't actually get into uh, like dance floor scenes. It was actually I looked. It was in 2016. I went to my first Shambhala, first experience. I feel like it was my first time ever even experiencing electronic music, um, and I just remember looking at the DJ and wondering what is he even doing up there? What are they even doing up there and how are they able to manipulate this dance floor and take us on so many like peaks and valleys and journeys? It felt just like a kind of like a storyline. Um and certain DJs have different storylines set to set. So I guess to answer your question, I just felt like if I take myself back to one of my first really engaged sets at Shambhala 10 years ago, I just remember being able to move through so much from whatever that DJ and producer was telling in their story. Um, so I didn't even consider DJing until I moved to Vancouver Island because well, Vancouver Island has, like, incredible talent and people that we know and love, it's all around us, so it wasn't even a consideration, and I think I sat behind someone doing it and looking at the graphics and seeing, like, what music looks like in waveform, and it was fascinating, and I kinda I mean, it's really intuitive, like, the 5, 6, 7, 8, boom, um, I just for the first time, I was like, "I think I could learn to do that." Um, and lo and behold, I just one day bought a pair of decks and looked it up on YouTube. I'm sure I train wrecked a bunch when I started, but it felt really that it did feel intuitive actually because
Mm,
just knowing music and like the storylines that even each track brings, the phrasing that each track brings,
mm.
without even having that much guidance, I went for it, and I tried it out. And then I've had so much guidance and so many people helping me along the way, that also tell their own storylines, and I'm sure feel the same way. Um, yeah, when they're what they're trying to exude in in their sets when they curate and when they have a purpose behind it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And yeah, shout outs to all of the godfathers and the
Yeah.
godmothers and all the people who help to take the patients to help train the new ones. And you come from a musical background, and that's certainly helpful for flow. And but I would also say out loud to anyone who's watching that the technical end of DJing has become more and more accessible, and with great track selection and the right type of mentorship, and probably some dollars to pay for the stuff, I think it's a pretty accessible thing for lots of people to try out. And I would recommend people to definitely learn and jump into it if you see DJing happening. So thank you. That I was thinking about a few people as you were talking about those who help kind of teach us, because I also had teachers as well. So okay, so let's move on. When you're designing a DJ set, because you're not on the dance floor anymore, or you are, but you're designing and leading. So when you're designing a DJ set or yoga class, and also you could comment on while you're actually hosting or DJing a class, what are a few signals that you're looking for in the room? So what are you imagining necessarily as you are designing a DJ set? Or if you want to speak more to the yoga side, or both, it's up to you. And then what are some signals that you're looking for in the room that help guide you on that process?
Mm. They're actually super similar because in a yoga class, you have something called a peak posture, where the posture is like pretty challenging. You want to warm up your body to get there. It's like the crescendo to the storyline, if you will. And I find the same thing happens for my sets. So, for instance, with the event that we have coming up on March 7th, I already have my peak posture song track that everything else is geared around it. So this track means so much to me. I've never played it out before. I found it last year. I've been saving it. I listen to it all the time. The repeatability of this track is incredible for me. So I look for just like, say, if we're building a yoga class, we're warming up the body, we're like introducing elements of the peak posture beforehand. So, um, with this peak posture track, if you will, I'm looking for elements and songs that are similar that can lead us up and maybe kind of foreshadow um, what that peak track means to me. And maybe it would be at the crescendo of my set. And usually I like to have kind of like waves because um, I feel like, yeah, bangers only is not sustainable throughout a whole set. So I like to have, yeah, if you like, if you will, kind of sustainable child's poses throughout some sets. And what a child's pose is, for those of you that don't know, is just like a very easeful, restorative posture to kind of take a moment, take a breath to get like reconfigured into your body. So yeah, I think that would answer the question of I have one track that I'm like, okay, this is the essence. And then everything else kind of follows suit.
Wow, yeah, that's an interesting process. I can understand that. Sometimes as a DJ as well, you have a certain song that you're building around, or you're trying to maybe work the room up or
Mhm.
down, depending on the situation, to a place where that track will be most well received. Um, and um, and yeah, so that's very interesting. I think a lot of DJs could probably understand that, and then maybe a lot of people could learn from that thought as well. Although bangers only is a great slogan,
Yeah.
bangers only doesn't do the job when you're looking at guiding people over a 10-hour, 20-hour, 30-hour process. And from a curation standpoint, it's very handy to um, have bangers at a certain point in time when a group of people have energy that they need to sort of flush
Mhm.
out. But once that's being properly flushed out, now it's time for a journey and time for a story and all that good stuff. So thanks
Mhm.
for thanks for that. That definitely is a great thing, and I hope people think about that. So I did notice that you also do one-on-one with people, and I think that as the world becomes more online, as humans work online and um, perhaps interact with algorithms and um, artificial intelligences and things of that nature, that a big part of our human future is one-on-one, which is a very intimate thing that I've always respected about all sorts of people who do body work and things all in that realm. Anything that's one-on-one. So my question is, what's a principle or a moral or a guiding standard that you rely on when working with bodies that most people underestimate or get wrong about someone who works intimately with one other person sometimes as part of their offering to the world?
Mm. I think I'm reminded all the time to trust my intuition. Um, yeah, I think trusting intuition and also just kind of sensing, I guess, kind of like, oh, like what's the weather doing right now? Like, what is their body doing right now? What did they need? Like, for instance, like if we're talking about yoga, for instance, um, I have them in a posture and then I see them kind of like tweaking or twisting or kind of intuitively moving. So it's just observing and then using your intuition. Um, and like before I work with someone one on one, um, I never plan anything ahead of time. I sit down and I ask them, like, how are you feeling today? Not how are you doing today? Like, how are you? But like, what is your body feeling right now? I want specifics in terms of like, is there anywhere in your body that you've that you're having certain sensations? Or like, what's your energetic body? Like, how's your heart? And that could tell you a lot. If people are feeling like they are vibrating energetically and you could sense it, um, yeah, maybe you'll kind of beat match them in a way to where they're up here, they can't really ground down here yet. So maybe you do some like somatic movement that kind of moves through energy and then you take them down. You beat match them to get on the beat that you want them to be. And I find that also works like socially, right? So if you're conversating with someone and they're at a completely different energetic level than you, chances are if you're like harking energetic bangers at them and they're like at ambient banger status, they're not going to hear anything that you say. So I think, um, yeah, in a way, beat matching to what their rhythm is.
Hmm. And what I'm
Mhm.
also hearing here is that every person is different and unique, and one-on-one is it can't always be. There's not necessarily a steadfast formula for that, and that the intuition of sitting down with someone ahead of time is a pretty big one.
Mhm.
Um, and I can understand that. I used to do something similar just when tree planting in my job. I sometimes wouldn't exactly plan where someone would go. I would wait to see what they looked like as they were getting into the truck in the morning, and how tired does that person look? Are they ready for a really long run to the top of the hill, or do they look like, oh, they're a little distracted? I have time to talk to someone in the truck on the way to work. Are they a little distracted? Oh, they have this thing going on at home. Okay, so they're not very focused. Let's put them in a piece that's not too dangerous, because they're a little bit. Remind them, be focused. Try to tune in with them, but having a non-planned plan, I think, when working with humans individually, probably is a good thing. And so, yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Um, Marna, where do you meaningfully disagree with mainstream wellness? And is there a parallel with where you disagree with mainstream music culture?
Hmm. That's a really good question. Well, I think in every aspect of everything, there's different strokes for different folks. So, not that, I mean, I'm sure I can come up with some kind of disagreements, but sometimes I just let things that don't resonate with me like roll off my back like water off a duck's back, right? So, I don't know. I think anytime someone word uses the word should, you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do this, to both of those realms, whether it's mainstream music or mainstream um health, I think it's like a concept of, well, you should on people. It feels like you're shoulding on people. We all have different journeys, we all have different tastes, uh we all come from different aspects of life, so things will resonate much different, and you have to respect people's journeys, right? um and I'll give you an example of this. A couple years ago, I was playing a set. It was a full room. It was so much fun. And I played a really hilarious banging version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun with like a great bass line. It was so much fun. And the whole crowd went bonkers. We had so much fun together. I was singing with them, they were singing with me. And then I had someone else in the industry come up to me and be like, you're never going to be taken seriously in this industry if you play stuff like that. You shouldn't do that. And I just looked at them and I was just like, I so disagree, because that connection that I had with the crowd with this like Cyndi Lauper hilarious remix is what I'm after. So I shouldn't have to do anything. That resonated with me and a lot of the people in the crowd in that moment. So
Yeah.
if it fits, it sits, and I'm putting it there.
Yeah, well, that's your prerogative as the DJ in that moment, and, what I'm that would be a very your answer, I 100% feel you as being genuine in that answer. Someone that didn't know you might think, "Oh, that's sort of almost a political answer where you didn't quite actually throw any mud." Or actually a nice political answer where you sort of navigated through that question, which was sort of pitting you toward a negative, and you sort of turned it into a positive, which is really cool. And I think that quality is what does and will make you a good promoter and person who creates events, because you put the value of the moment and the music, and at times there's a sacrificial aspect to DJing to a degree, more so in producing events where you learn about that larger flow, and that way of looking at things, and that is part of what does and makes you a good promoter. So,
Yeah.
at least that's my take on it. Okay, so I have a couple more questions, and then we're going to show you a quick little clip, and then that will be about time for us.
Cool.
So just jumping around a little bit, one thing I wanted to ask, just because people are listening who might um, want some suggestions for their journey, or maybe are stuck in their journey in some way. So, what's something people chase in healing or self expression that actually slows their progress? And is there, without tuning toward a negative, because I don't want to try that on you again, but is there a common thing that you think might hold people back that you could point to about self-healing and self-expression?
I think fear, and uh I can relate to that myself, but fear, fear. There's a poem that I really like, and it's, our deepest fear is not that we're um, incapable. That's not the word that she uses. Our deepest fear is not that we are incompetent or incapable. Our deepest fear is actually that we are powerful beyond measure. Yeah. So that's a reminder from me to me all the time. Just because I think with healing comes liberation, and treating yourself and showing up for yourself, both with like, your physical body, your spiritual body, but also your creative side too. Um, so yeah, I feel like the reminder that I have written down all over my notebook through different times of especially my adult life um, is that my faith is bigger than my fear. And even if I have to trick myself into that one and fake it till I make it, uh, it life will show me that faith is bigger than fear, and that will be a reminder. I'm most certain that I'll have to have again and again, again, again. Something that we're all learning, not just as myself as an individual, but I feel like everyone as a whole. So that's the mission we're on.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. We are often the thing that holds us back the most.
Big time.
And it's kind of a cliche or something, but there's so much truth there. And fear of looking stupid, don't feel bad because you're afraid of looking stupid. Like there's some pretty serious survival, biochemical, survival, evolutionary kind of hormonal things that's going on there in us that kind of tells us to, don't draw attention to ourselves, don't stick out, follow in with, don't look stupid, stuff like that. It's not just like, oh, you have an ego problem, you're afraid of looking stupid. It's like, it's also that there's a biochemical forged from living on this earth and being in a social human complex human, our brains developed that way, that if you're afraid of looking stupid, don't just feel bad about it because it's an ego problem. Understand that you're also dealing with some real things, and that's an okay thing, and everyone feels like they look stupid, and I definitely, it's one of my somewhat superpowers, is either being dumb enough to not know I'm looking stupid, or being brave enough to just be okay with looking stupid. So maybe that's a really blunt way of saying that, but I definitely feel you on
Mm.
that. So if someone feels drawn to music, maybe they don't have as much of a musical background or movement background as you, but and that's later in life, or midlife, early life, whatever, if someone feels drawn to music and movement, but doesn't see a clear path, what would you think would be a perfect first step for them?
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Do
Try
it.
it out. Get amongst it. Um, yeah, I mean, follow what feels good, I think, because there's so much access to everything out there. Whether it be online, and thankfully I feel like in the Comox Valley there's so much community for almost everything creative, movement, music. We're blessed with that. So yeah, just try it out and uh yeah, don't be fearful like you said. Or at least acknowledge the fear. Maybe it's our monkey brain, but do it anyways. And eventually that will become a muscle where you don't embarrass so easily.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We got to, I really appreciate all your time here. And I know that you do probably need to get to work as well. So we just have a quick 30-second clip we just want to show you.
What's your name?
And see if
Gaile Kesa, Nuguam Sasik Kala. I cannot Akis, I cannot Yukwas, Yato Negezi. I cannot Mot Quagras, Loquida Namkis, Koskimo. My name is Rejan Child. My First Nation's name is Sasik Kala. It means bucking the tide. And through my ancestral connections
That's
and
great.
roots, I have ties to this land, and through the experience.
So who's that man?
He's my fiance, my crazy awesome fiance.
I just wanted to pop him in here because I wasn't sure if I was going to get a full-on genuine smile from you, which that one definitely did it, and we got it. Um, so your fiance, do you have any stories that you want to share with us about him and you?
Where do I begin? um, yeah, he- we met on a dance floor. We met on a dance floor, and then it was actually through DJing that we connected just because he kept on showing up to the events that I would throw. And it was actually a compliment that he gave me after I finished a set that really like hit home. And at that time, I'd not dated anyone for years, had been like super single and just like on this independent path, and super content with it. But he was the first guy in a really long time that like sparked my heart a little bit. Um, but yeah, he came up to me and was just like, I feel like your stage presence is really authentic. And it resonated with me, the story that you told
Mm.
in that set. And I was like, oh, he,
He could
I
read the
feel like,
story.
yeah, he could read the story. And that's exactly what I had, like, what we'd been talking about. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's just fantastic. He's also super musical, loves a dance floor. He comes with me to a lot of the DJ events that we go to, and I call him my jester because I'm on the decks and he's on the D floor, just like gesturing around
Nice.
and entertaining. So we entertain together. But yeah, he's fantastic, and
Yeah.
yeah, he loves everything about the culture and the movement, and yeah, he's fantastic.
Well, thank you for sharing that little piece of yourself with us. Um, is there any direction or place you want to direct people who have listened to this in terms of your next events, um, your website, or anything else that you think that we didn't talk about that we should have?
Yeah. Um, you can find more information at my website, www.
We'll put it all that's that in the links for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I usually take a purposeful pause on events and DJing starting of the year. So March 7th is my next event. And after that, we have a bunch of stuff coming up. Um, we have burlesque shows that we're bringing to the Valley, which is really fun. They're comedy, they're burlesque, they're music, they're dance floors after. So the production company that we've created is called Hot Girl House Productions. Um, so that's really exciting. And then a bunch of events coming up, like DJing in the spring. So I'll keep it all up to date. It's linked to my SoundCloud, my Instagram, um, my Facebook. Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll
Mhm.
put all those links in there, and we're thankful for your generosity with your time. And yeah, we are very excited to have you playing for the March
Great.
7th at the Beats Antique and show there. So thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you, Sika.